Hi, this is Laura from Scrappy Mania, and today I want to try these gouache. I got this some time ago during the Christmas time. I bought it with some other products that I got from Jerry Artorama online. There were some sales going on and things like that, so I wanted to try this out. It was very economical. I think it was like $8 for all of these. Very economical, so I decided to try them out. I also have this doll that I've created. Now this is a stupendous stamp that I purchased, and I was trying out creating skin tones with just cheapo watercolors, those Target watercolor brushes that you only get 3 primaries and 3 secondary colors. So you got purple, yellow, orange, red, blue, and green. So you got those 6 primary and secondary colors. And I use it to kind of mix it around and try to create skin colors. And I do have a video where I can show you how you can create skin colors with those very economical watercolor paints. And they're good to play around with and learn how to do your mixes. So I want to try these out. They are gouache. I do have like kind of a dirty palette here. That's okay with me. I'm going to try it out on these dirty palette. Put some colors on there. And then I have this Jane Davenport tissue paper that I got at Michael's when it was 50% off. And I want to try these out. So I'm going to maybe, let's see. Which one? Let me go ahead and show you the designs. Actually, here are the designs. And there's plenty of videos out there showing you everything. But let's go ahead and take them out so you can see what we have. I got these. You get 4 of each. And there's 4 of these. Those are pretty. Very pretty. I love the doll ones. Look at that. You get 4 of those. Yep, 4 of those. Love this one. This one would be very nice to kind of place in a very busy background. And you got other faces in here. So I do like Jane's artwork. She's one of the of many artists that I would like to learn her style. And I'm trying to, actually she's one of my favorite for faces. So I really like that. This is a very pretty napkin. And then here's some more. I might try this one or this one. I don't know yet. We don't know what we are trying out. I may just decide, oh, I think this one will look nice. So we'll try this out. I do have some watercolors that I want to try out. I don't have an idea what to do. Now, one of the things that you need to do with these napkins is you need to take the layers. There's usually 2 layers. There's a boring layer at the bottom and then the nice decorative layer on top. And you have to try to separate them somehow, somewhere. And I always have a difficult time separating these 2. I think I got it. Just try at the edge. Yeah. So just try to do it at the edge so that way, because you're going to rip some paper like I did there. But you're going to separate both of them. And don't throw this away. This would be good stamping. You can easily stamp this and repurpose this. So I don't throw anything away on these tissue papers. So we can attach this here. So let me go ahead and attach this. And I'm going to go ahead and use something to protect my bottom page. So, okay, so now I have my paper protected. This is just regular kids paper. You get it in a roll. It's kind of like a newsprint, a little thicker than a newsprint. But that works pretty nice. And then what you got to use for this, I'm going to go ahead and get my gel medium out. around. You can either use a palette knife or this. This is one of those art basics. And I have this scraper that I purchased at the dollar store that I use for applying tissue paper or just paper. And it's gonna wrinkle a little bit. If you don't want it to wrinkle, you can take better care and layering it down. I don't mind that it wrinkles. And as you can see, I didn't do such a good job laying it down. I am creating some texture there, but that's okay. I'm going to cut some of this. I'm just going to lay this across here. And try not to be too rough like I am with this. But even if you tear it apart, that's okay. No big deal. It just adds texture. I'm going to let this dry and then I'll come back, because what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put some gesso on top. I'm going to use clear gesso because I want to go ahead and use my gouache. So I want something that it could grab on. Even though we can put this, but because I put gel medium, the gel medium will be slick. And I really don't want it to be kind of slick like, you know, regular gesso. I want the more textured gesso, which is my clear. So I'm going to let this dry, come back, put a clear gesso on it, let that dry, and then I'm going to start composing whatever I'm composing here. So we'll be back. Sorry, I started painting without realizing that I did not turn on my camera. But the color that I'm using is Primary Yellow, Cadmium Yellow, Ultramarine Deep, Primary Blue. This is, what is it? Permanent Green Deep. And this is Primary Red, even though it looks pinkish. So I went ahead and my surface has been gesso with clear gesso. And I just want to put some color on there, not a lot, because I want to make sure we can see the color in the background, these nice splashes. I want to see the tissue paper in the background. The good thing about gouache, even though I put it on my palette, it will stay there, and then you can put some more water on it and it will activate again. So you're not wasting any paint. Unlike acrylic, once it dries, you cannot really reactivate the acrylic anymore. I think I want a little more yellow here. Okay, that's pretty much it what I want to do on this page. So let me go ahead and dry this. I'll put this aside because I went ahead and found some flowers that I've die cut before. And they're watercolor paper. And I want to go ahead and paint these. I'm going to use these there. I'm just trying to, I'm trying to use what I got. These colors are going to harmonize with the colors that I've used on my background, so it's going to look good. And I'm just basically just slapping some color on there. And you'll see in a moment when I do my flowers, I just mix it on the flower. So I'll put a little red, and then I'm just mixing some yellow. And here I'm just taking a little bit of every little color that I see, and I'm just kind of mixing it all together. And it's going to look pretty good. You'll see in a moment that after it dries, I'm going to do another treatment to these flowers, and it's really going to make it look good. So here's some yellow. Just trying to use up all the colors that's on my palette with these flowers. We're going to let this dry and then we'll come back. So I have this roller and I just put some water on here and I'm rolling it out. And let's see what we get. And let's roll this out. Oh, I like that. I did not want to waste these colors, so I went ahead and put some color on the other page. And now I'm just going to dry it to make sure it's nice and dry before my next treatment. So after I lay down the colors, it looks a little too much color on there, so I'm just going to take a little bit of gesso. Let me just get my paintbrush. A little bit of gesso. Wet down my gesso. Then I'm going to take my brayer and just braze some gesso on there. Okay, think I'm done with that. Put that aside. And dry this. Now that it's nice and dry, we can place this here. So I got 3 sets. I'm not sure which one to use. I think I like this one. I'm going to change my mind. I'm not using this one. I think I'm going to use this one for here. I'm just using some gel medium as my adhesive to put this doll down. And then I'm using the brayer to make sure that it really adheres to the page because it's heavy duty watercolor paper. When I tried to put that flower on my page, it was just getting lost in the background. The colors are the same colors that I use for my page, so I needed something for it to pop. So I decided to take this charcoal pen. This is a charcoal pen that I found at Jerry Adorama, and it was pretty economical, and I love how dark it is. So I decided to outline my flowers and just doodle on it, and look at the difference. You see, the doodling really makes the flowers stand out. It really looks good. So I went ahead and going to do that to all my flowers. So I'm going to fast forward the video here so that way you see how I kind of doodle different doodles depending on the type of flower I'm using. So for my daisies, I basically just created a center and then outline each of the petals. And I did the same thing for my these yellow daisies as well. I went ahead and outlined each of the petals and I created a swirly center. For my leaves, I went ahead and darkened one area. So I made a center mark, and then I darkened one of the sides of the leaf, and the other side I just outlined the edges. For this big flower, this 4-petal flower, I basically just made some marks in the center, and then I just outlined the outside of the flower. And you really could see the difference. That really made it pop. So now I'm ready to place my flowers on my background here. So I created a stem, but later on that stem gets lost. What I was planning to do is have some stems and then have the flowers come out of the stem, but it just wasn't coming out that way, so I just decided just put the flowers around the doll. And these flowers are made with watercolor paper. So what happens is, because it's so thick, sometimes it doesn't really grab onto the page, so that's why every once in a while I'll go over it with the brayer just to make sure to bray it down. And you know, even with that, now that I see the video, even with putting a dark outline around my flowers, they still getting a little lost here. But you'll see in a moment how I fixed that. And I decided not to put all the flowers on, and I'm just drying out the gel medium. And then I'm just lightening up her a little bit of her skin, because my hands were all dirty with the charcoal, and as I was using the gel medium, the charcoal was transferring to her face, and I just didn't want that. So I just went over with a paintbrush and removed that excess charcoal from her face. Here I'm just outlining the doll with my charcoal pen, or pencil. It's not a pen, pencil. And look how she pops once I did that. I'm cutting the extra tissue, and then I have this Chinese brush pen, and I'm using that to write this phrase, "Take time to create art." I found that on the internet, that saying. And then look how it really makes those flowers stand out when I use this brush pen to outline each of those flowers. It really made it pop, and that's what it needed. It needed a little more pop. And then I'm just going over the edges. Okay, so this is my page. So I decided to use a different doll than what I originally was thinking about using. And I do like how it came out. The background, very grungy. So I hope you like this video, and thank you for watching. Bye now.